Hello and welcome to Adobe Creative Cloud Live. My name is Terry White. We're going to talk about creating a photography portfolio very easily now using Adobe Portfolio with its updated Lightroom integration. So I don't know, I'll give for many of you, you may not even know you have this capability, but with your Creative Cloud account, whether you're on a photography plan or the full membership or you know wherever you are in between, you have access to a portfolio that is included in your membership. You don't have to pay any extra for it. It comes with unlimited pages. You can build a portfolio for your design work if you're a graphic designer. And you could have always done it for your photography, although it wasn't as easy to maintain as it is now. So I'm very happy with this updated integration. And let's go ahead and jump over to my computer so I can show it to you. All right, so first and foremost, the place where you're going to want to go to get started with this is myportfolio.com. That's it. Myportfolio.com is the website that you can jump to immediately to do your portfolio. Now, if you're just signed on adobe.com and you click on your name in the upper right corner, when the box comes down with all your services, you can also jump to your portfolio from there as well. But if you just want to go straight to it, you can go to myportfolio.com. And if you've never used it, if you've not built one, then you're going to get the ability with a button somewhere around in this area to go ahead and start one. You only get to start one once, so I'll never see that button again. But anyway, I get the ability to edit mine since I've already started mine. And of course, when I mean start, you can build a whole thing and then use that button to edit it anytime you want to make any changes. Now, there are multiple layouts and examples, and you don't have to worry about pricing because, like I said, it's built in. So there are, I believe, 5 or 6 starter designs that you can start with, and of course these can be customized. So you're really just using these to kind of get the foundation for what kind of site you might want to look or have, what kind of look you might want to have for your site, and then you go from there. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't point you to the cooler landing page. It's the one that's myportfolio.com/photography. That one is the dressed in black photographers portal to create your portfolio. Is there any difference? No, but it does look better. And this one's again more focused for photographers as opposed to designers, like the other pages. They both will do the same thing. You get the same kind of overview, layouts, examples, and you can either start a portfolio or edit an existing one. All right, so with that said, since I already have one, let me go ahead and jump over to it just by clicking Edit. And let me explain some quick basics for those of you who are new to the portfolio, my portfolio capability as part of Creative Cloud. First and foremost, like I said before, if you are a Creative Cloud member, this is already included. You don't have to pay any extra for it. Back in the Behance days, it was a separate payable annual fee. I think it was like $100 a year to have this, but once we acquired Behance and rolled this in, not only did the team make it a no additional cost, but they also went out to update it and modernize it to make it responsive. So any site you build here will work great on just about any screen, any device. You don't have to worry about the coding or any of that. Another question that usually comes up, well, should I use this or should I use Muse or should I use something else? And that depends on you. If you're just looking primarily for your portfolio, this is probably going to be a lot easier than having to design one from scratch using Muse. My site, my current photography site, is built with Muse. And the only reason I built it with Muse and used a plugin for Lightroom back then is because this integration that I'm about to show you today didn't exist with my portfolio. So with the Adobe I shouldn't call it my portfolio. Adobe Portfolio now has the integration that I've always wanted. So I've been bugging the team now for about 2 years to do this, and they delivered. So now I'm considering switching everything completely over to this because this will give me the biggest advantage I've always wanted, and that is to easily update my portfolio anytime I want to do it and make changes without having to jump through a bunch of hoops to output images and then upload those images and size those images and all that. So I don't have to deal with any of that anymore because it's built, or the galleries come from Lightroom. All right, it's not just about your galleries. So for example, I've got an About Me page, which I just kind of started. I didn't really put a lot into it yet because this was just a demo at one point. So you can put whatever you want on your About Me page. And by the way, you can have as many pages as you want. I've just got a few. There's a contact form that's built. That's a built-in capability. And of course, you can customize any of this, the font, the color, whatever you want. There's the galleries, which we're going to spend some time on in a few minutes. And then I've got two external links. One goes to my tech blog. The other one goes to my now old photography website. So what's the URL to the portfolio? When you first create one, you're going to get to pick a name, hopefully that isn't already taken. And of course, you can go register a domain, like I've got terrywhitephotography.com and terrywhite.photography. I might point the terrywhite.photography to this one. But anyway, just like I said, you can point a domain to any one of the Adobe portfolios that you've created. Well, the one Adobe portfolio that you've created. So it doesn't have to be the nameyougrab.myportfolio.com. It can be a custom domain that you set up. But if I go to mine right now, since I've not pointed a custom domain to it yet, it's terrywhite.myportfolio.com, and that will take you to it. That'll take you to the site that we're looking at right now. So if you kind of want to follow along and refresh the page as I make updates, you can do that. Now, all three of these first galleries are using the new Lightroom integration. So if I go to my portfolio recent work, that will show me a grid view of some of the recent work I've done in portrait photography and work for Adobe stock. And then if I click on an image, I can actually go through the images, and this is again all nice and responsive. So if someone's looking at it on their phone, still looks great. Someone looking at it on a bigger display, the images are big and gorgeous, and that's what I like about it. All right, let's head back to the editing part of it, which I think I was here. And let's go ahead and show you how easy it is now to use that Lightroom integration. So first and foremost, if I pop over to Lightroom, I just want to explain this part of it. I've got a collection of images. This particular collection is not in my portfolio yet. And it's a portfolio in Lightroom. I called it a portfolio, but it's really just a collection called Portfolio iPhone Photography. And I've got one for beauty and concerts and creative and fashion and so forth and so on. And ultimately, I would get all of those over to the new portfolio site. But this is the one we're going to work on today. It's just a collection. And more importantly, that collection has been synced with Lightroom Mobile. That's how it can be seen by Adobe Portfolio. So basically, all you would do is open up your Lightroom catalog, start the syncing up here if you haven't ever done that before. That's just going up to the menu and starting the syncing. Once you start the syncing, then all of your manual collections will have the ability to sync. So you just check the box and it will sync those photos that are in that collection up to Lightroom Mobile, and they will then be available to you in Adobe Portfolio. All right, so now that we know where the collections came from, let's pop back over to the browser, and now let's go ahead and add that iPhone photography collection into my site. So what I want to do is I just want to click the plus sign for add content. Now, I might be tempted to add a page. That's different. That's adding a page. That is not necessarily a gallery. So you want to add content to this existing galleries page. And when I do that, there's now a new Lightroom Collection capability. Page was always there, gallery was always there, link to an external page was always there. Now I get another option called Lightroom Collection. And when I click on that, that'll go out to Lightroom. It will find my collections, and it will show me the ones that I have, including that iPhone photography one. And when I click on it, I can click Import Selected. So that's it. It'll import it in and show me a grid of all of those photos just that easily, just that quickly. And I didn't have to, best part, I didn't have to do them one by one. I didn't have to click on every single photo and tell it to bring it in. These are all the pain points that I had with the previous implementation. All right, now, having a good portfolio is only as good as how easy is it to update, because we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of least resistance. In other words, if something's hard to do, then we'll most likely not want to do it on a regular basis. And that's the problem I've had with all other portfolio solutions in the past, is that it required several steps every time I wanted to do an update. So if I wanted to, for example, I noticed in this one, these last 3 images really shouldn't even be here. They're like demo files that I kind of probably put in that collection at one point and I forgot to take them out. So if I wanted to do that, I'd have to go into the web authoring tool, delete the 3 images manually, and that's not too bad. But then if I wanted to replace one of those, maybe with a new image, that's where it becomes the pain. I'd have to find the new image, export the new image out in the proper size, then import it to the web authoring tool and size it and then tell it where to go and all. Then, you know what? You just end up with good intentions of wanting to keep your portfolio updated, but you end up not doing it. You just don't do it on a regular basis. And that's why this integration is important to me. All right, so let's pop back over to Lightroom and let's fix the problem. So first of all, like I said, these really shouldn't be in here. These were from a Lightroom, I think a Lightroom camera demo I did. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove them from the collection. Now, there is one that I do want to add to the collection. There's one from an event that I did back in New York. I did a photo walk. And here I'm going to go ahead and narrow these down by pics. And find the one that I want. Okay, that's the one I want. People really, for whatever reason, like this photo. It's just a reflection in the water on the ground. But people thought that was kind of creative. It got lots of likes on Instagram, so forth and so on. So I want to take, and maybe I want to take this one too. This was kind of, maybe it's not portfolio worthy. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to go ahead and just drag it into that collection that we just talked about. So now I have removed 3 photos, and I've added 1. And now at this point, Lightroom would be doing its sync. Since the deletion really doesn't take long, and that image was already synced to Lightroom Mobile, it's not going to take long. But depending on how many images are syncing, you might have to wait a few seconds or wait a few minutes for that sync to take place. This probably should have happened pretty instantly. All right, so let's pop back over to the website. And hey, Terry, it didn't update, nothing happened. Well, it's not automatic, at least not today. So in order for me to tell it now, hey, I've made some changes, I want those changes to be implemented, I would go to my Manage Content, and there's that collection, the Portfolio iPhone Photography. And now if I were to pop the menu down for that, there is a reset from Lightroom. In other words, go look at Lightroom, see any changes that have been made, and bring them in. And so it just confirms, are you sure you want to do that? Yep, I'm sure I want to do that. And it will reset the page, basically back to the editor now, and hopefully refresh with the new content. I see the 3 pictures are gone. Let's hope it brings in the new one, and there's the new one. So it's done its job just that easily. That was the part right there that makes this solution great for most people, because that's the part that's hard. That's the part that's, with most other solutions, not an easy thing to do. And if you decide to change your mind and go back and add more photos or delete photos or rearrange the photos, you just go back to Lightroom and do it, because it's automatically syncing your collection every time you make a change, as long as you have an internet connection. And then you just come back to your portfolio and update it. Now, a couple points I want to make. It brings in the Lightroom Collection as a grid. And when I first previewed my site, I couldn't click on any of the images. I was like, well, what's the point of this? I was like, I'm just looking at a grid. I want to be able to zoom in on the images. There's one more thing you have to do. There's just one time. You have to turn on a feature for your site. Then anytime you bring in a grid, you'll be able to do this. All right, so let's go to the site settings. And in the site settings, we want to go to the site options. And over in the light box for images, this is not checked by default, or at least it wasn't on mine. So I had to enable lightbox for images on my pages. Once I checked the box, that was it. Said done. Never have to do it again. It's a one-time thing. You just turn it on. And then from that point, when I preview my site now, it'll show it to me. I can scroll down and I can click on that image and it will bring it up in a lightbox, basically full screen fashion. And of course, it gives me the navigation arrows to go left and right, and I can navigate left and right in my images. It even gives me a little preview to show what it would look like on smaller devices. So if I want to see what it looked like on a phone, it would show it to me, the narrow screen the way it would look like on a phone, or the wide screen if the phone was held wide, and tablets and so forth and so on. So like the preview editors or the preview capability in the editor as well. Now the other thing I want to point out is that even though you put the grid down of this particular collection, you've got the ability to continue editing this page. You're not, in other words, it's not like it's, oh, well, the grid came in and I can't really add anything to the page. You can add anything you want to the page. It's just the grid is in a container, but that container, all of this can be edited. So everywhere I see a pencil, that means I can make a change. So if I click the pencil here, oh, I didn't go to the menu, I can change the page header or I can customize it. So I can add a description, for example, or if there was a description, I can go ahead and turn it on, turn it off, and potentially add things to the page. If I go here, the page container can also be customized as well. So if I want to change anything to do with the margins, or right now they're just a percentage margin, I think I want to mess with that. Let's see. Oh, see, I can, if people were saying, hey, the grid's too small, then adjust the container for your particular template to make that grid bigger, so that they show bigger on a wider display like we have here. So again, you're not locked into this one thing. You can customize it. I believe you should be able to add more things in between some of this content. I've not tried that on this page, but there should be the ability to add things at the top or the bottom of the page as well. Now, of course, Adobe Portfolios can be customized in other ways as well. So I've added my social media links to this page as well. And I've added, of course, the menu for the external links and other things. Now, if you're looking at this page and saying, well, Terry, hey, I'm not seeing your new iPhone photography, it's because until you hit the update button, the site has not gone live yet. So I'm making these changes locally. I'm previewing, testing, making sure it looks the way I want it to look. And then I can, oh, and I like how it made, because I made the container bigger, that last image was on a row by itself and therefore got full-size treatment. But anyway, if I go ahead and say update the live site, now any changes I've made to the site will now be live for you to see. So it takes a few seconds to do that. And it even offers me the ability to say, hey, you added a new collection. Do you want to share that new collection on Behance separately, not from your portfolio? And I'm going to say, no, thanks. I'm good. And so now if I were to go back and look at my site, let's go back out of this. And let's go back to the home page. And there's the new gallery. And if I were to click on it, there's the new gallery. And if I were to click on the images, I can see the new images. All right, so it's there. That's how easy it is to do a portfolio with Adobe Portfolio, myportfolio.com, and how easy it is to add a Lightroom collection full of images, how easy it is to make changes to that Lightroom collection after the fact, and then update your portfolio with a single click. So let's do one more just for fun. Let me go back here where we were editing. And we got another second here. So for our streams, let's go ahead and add content one more time. Let's add a new Lightroom collection. It's going to bring up my collections. I'm going to tell it which one I want. And I want my, let's go to my, people are always they like behind the scenes. So let me show you some of my production shot faves. So let's go ahead and import that one in. Now that one's got more images in it. That's got like 51 images in it. But that should bring it in as a grid, as it always does. And it just kind of shows you the behind the scenes for a lot of the photos I've taken over the years. Just production shots is what I usually call them. All right, so they're there. And again, if I want to update the live site, I can. And those production shots will go live for you to be able to refresh terrywhite.myportfolio.com and see them. And no, I don't want to share it on Behance. Thanks for asking. And there we are. So your portfolio is that easy to not only create, it's also something you're already paying for. It's built in, and it's that easy to maintain, which is the best part. All right, so thanks for joining me today. I haven't been watching the questions. I haven't seen any. Coming new to Adobe Portfolio? Yes, as of now. It is new as of today. Yes, Victoria, thank you. It is awesome. And hello, everyone that said hello. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Iris. Hello, Constantin, if I said that correctly. Hello, everyone. And with that said, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Head over to myportfolio.com and create your own photography or graphic design portfolio. And again, pages and galleries can be updated manually. So if you say, hey, I'm not using Lightroom, or the things I'm using aren't in Lightroom, you can of course upload JPEGs and GIFs and PNGs just like any other website. So you can mix and match. It can be photography from Lightroom. It could be graphic design from everything else. And you can have the world's greatest portfolio now and keep it updated, which is the best part. All right, cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.